Hi, Terry VanNoy. Welcome to Math Class with Terry V. Hope this video helps you out, and if you enjoy it, please share it, comment, or like it. And you can also go to my website, MathPowerLine.com. It's a math resource blog, lesson videos for students, and other resources for parents and teachers. Give me a call or go to my website or email. All right, let's go to today's lesson. All right, the second video in this series about angle relationships. We went over the basics of what happens when you have parallel lines in a transversal or some other way that lines intersect, all the different problem or angle pairs that are created. Some are congruent, some are supplementary, sometimes they're complementary. And then we're going to get to a problem set in this video. We're going to have you practice labeling some angles and trying to figure out what the missing angle measures are. The last video in this series will be a self-quiz, so take a look. We've been talking about when you have parallel lines and a third line crosses through them, that's called a transversal. Then we have what's called congruent angle pairs. We have alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles. We have corresponding angle pairs. We have vertical angles, and we have complementary, supplementary, and adjacent angles. All right. Do you know the difference between all those angle types? Well, get a piece of paper together if needed, and I have some problems for you to try. Here we go. All right, we'll start with some pretty easy ones here. I want you to find the angle of the measure of angle B, as you can see here, and not only write down what it is, but see if you can remember what those angle pairs are called. Go ahead. Number 15, angle B is 115 degrees. It's the same as this angle. Well, why is that? Well, notice how these angles here, these lines are marked as parallel, and so now you have angles on opposite sides of the transversal inside the parallel lines, so those are called alternate interior angles. Those are always congruent to each other. Now what about 16? Well, B is on the left side of that parallel line, and so is this angle, and they are both below the transversal. They're both in the same relative position. Remember what that's called? That's right, they are corresponding angle pairs, and those are always congruent to each other. All right, let's get a few more. All right, we're going to finish this video with these last four examples. Try to find out what angle B is and why. Go ahead. Number 17. This angle is marked as 95 degrees and angle B is also 95 degrees. But why is that? Well, again, notice that these lines are marked as parallel, and so they are both in the same relative position to the parallel lines and this transversal, and so those are called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are always congruent, aren't they? All right, I bet you're doing really well. Number 18, look at the parallel lines. Notice that this 86-degree angle is outside of the parallel line and B is outside of the parallel line. Those are on exterior to those parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides or alternate sides of the transversal. So they are congruent angles. Angle B is still 86 degrees. They are alternate exterior angles, which are always congruent to each other. All right, looking down at number 19, B is, yes, you guessed it, 65 degrees, but what do you call that when these angles are across from an intersection, from two intersecting lines? Those are vertical angles. Vertical angles are always congruent. Very good. Vertical angles. And finally, number 20. Well, it's marked as B and 43 together. They share that same ray. Remember what that's called? Right. Those are adjacent angles. Now, all that tells you is that together they add up to, and it shows here, 294 degrees. 294 degrees is on the back side, so we have to figure out what's left. So we could add 43 and 294 and then subtract that from 360. That will give us this remaining part, which would be 23. We have to kind of play detective there a little bit. But we do know that these two angles together must add up to 66 degrees. All right, look for the next video where we try to label a few more angles, and then we'll get into embedding some algebra in the process. Take care. All right, there you have it. I invite you to go to my website now, MathPowerLine.com, or email me or give me a call. The way I work best with students is live online in my classroom. So if I can help you in any way, answer some specific questions, the first lesson with me is free as I show you how everything works. All right, study hard and take care.